warning that person. But if somebody cheats you and you don't feel any emotion, you're likely not going to even to resist it. You're likely not going to do anything about it, and the person might repeat it again. Also, the emotion of disgust. For example, if you drink a bad milk now and the taste in your mouth, it will feel you this emotion. It will make you have this emotion of disgust, so that next time you won't want to take something that is bad like that. So negative emotions, they warn us of danger. They warn us of danger, so they are very, very useful. And then there's also one thing that we must know, that the default mindset of the brain is towards negativity. The brain senses negative things readily, more than positive things. And why? This is how God made it, and it is to help us to fight off danger. So you sense danger even faster than you even sense things that are ordinary. This is how we are made. That is how the survival brain works. So the brain, the survival brain and the emotional brain, they have a tendency to always quickly pick on negative emotions, negative vibes. It is very, very, very adaptive. That because it ensures that we survive as a species. The problem is that if we now allow that negative bias to dominate us, to dominate our rational brain, that is where the problem is. Now, when you have positive emotions, what are the advantages of positive emotions? Positive emotions include things like happiness, joy, love, calm, things like that. Think about it. When you are happy, you are likely to be able to think well. You would be able to think more deeply, as against when you are sad. When you are happy, you are likely to think outside the box. So when you are happy or you have other positive emotions, your cognition broadens. Cognition refers to all the processes that help us to use information within and without us. So when we are in that positive state of mind, it helps us. So at that time, we make more positive or more quality choices and decisions. And then when we are in a positive state of mind, when our emotions are positive, they also reduce our stress level. Remember, I said that when your survival brain senses danger, it evokes the stress reaction in your body, because it brings on the emotion of fear. And fear would activate the stress response. Now, when you have positive emotion, it reverses the stress response, because the stress response is just supposed to be there briefly, just for you to use it at that time to help you to face and fight off that danger. It is not supposed to linger in your body. But what we have now is that a lot of times we carry stress reactions all around. People don't know how to take off that stress reaction from their body. One way is that if you have positive emotions, it would reverse that stress reaction and it will help your cardiovascular system. Remember that when you are in a state of fear, when you are in that stress reaction, your heart rate would go up, your blood pressure would go up, all your system that would help, that would ensure that you are able to fight or you are able to run away from that threat or that danger will be activated. So your heartbeat will begin to your heart will begin to beat faster. So your pulse rate will go up, your blood pressure will go up. So you can imagine if somebody is constantly under stress, that means the heart will be overworked. And then the person might even come down with cardiovascular diseases. That is why they say that stress is a proxy killer. When you allow stress to linger in your body, it will begin to damage all your organs. Stress is a good thing, but it is only when it lingers in your body that it becomes a bad thing. It becomes toxic stress. So positive emotions help us to reverse this stress reaction. It is called physiological undoing. And then it also helps us build resources, because at that time when you are positive, you are able to think faster. You are able to you are curious. You are able to do so many things at that time. So your resources would increase personally, intellectually. When you are happy, you might even tend to read more. Search more, and all those things. When you are happy, you will tend to interact with people better on a more positive level, on a more positive note. So Emotions are extremely powerful. They are like the driving forces of our life. They can be a mentally destabilizing force if it is not well managed. It can destroy and it can build. So when we say emotional intelligence is just like, it's a big word for a very simple concept, a simple phenomenon. What emotional intelligence means is that how well are you intelligent with your emotions? How are you managing your emotions? What do you do when you are angry? What do you do when you are happy? What do you do when you are fearful? What do you do when you are afraid? What do you do when you are anxious? Do you allow your emotions to control you? When you are in love, do you allow that emotion of love to overcome your reason? What are you able to do with that emotion? Because emotions are just supposed to give us signals. They are supposed to help us, just to ginger us to do what we need to do, but they are not supposed to control us. They are just supposed to be signals to us. So emotional intelligence is how you manage emotions in yourself and in other people, because as human beings, we are social beings. Remember, I said that we all have a common goal. Everybody wants to be happy and successful in all spheres of life, and we interact with one another. So emotional intelligence is the ability for you to be able to manage your emotions well and to manage other people's emotions well, because we are social beings. No man is an island. There is no way you will not interact with other people, whether in your family, whether at work, whether in the marketplace, whether in the bus. You will always interact with people, and how you are able to manage emotions in people will determine ultimately how well your interaction will go. If you're a manager at work now and you have high level of emotional intelligence, you will see that your staff would bring their resourcefulness to the table, and you will see that your projects will be, your goals will be achieved fast, because they will be in tandem with you, because you have successfully put them in that positive emotions, and they'll be ready to work for you. If you have a high level of emotional intelligence, you can send ice to an Eskimo, and he will buy it. He will buy it. So emotional intelligence is very, very important. It looks like a big word, but it is very, very simple. It only means your ability to leverage on your emotions. Remember, I said that emotions are like energy in motion. So what do you do? In which direction does this energy push you to? Does it push you into making quality choices? Does it push you into making quality decisions? That is just what emotional intelligence is. That is just what emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence is not allowing your emotions to get in the way of reasoning. Now, there are 4 components of emotional intelligence. One of them is self-awareness. Now, self-awareness is you recognizing your emotions. Understanding that, okay, so when you are angry, you know that you are angry, and you know that, oh, this anger would affect me in this way. This anger might cause me to do something that I would regret, that I will regret. When I am in love, this love would make me to do, yes, it's supposed to make me do beautiful things, but even at that, I must apply my rational mind to it, because as women, we are very, very emotional. And as women, we allow emotions to push us. A lot of women are in bad marriages today because they did not apply emotional intelligence to their relationship. They allowed passion to overcome their reasoning. That is why a lot of women are in bad relationships, because during courtship, a lot of women see the red flags, but they don't apply reason. They don't apply that part of their higher rational center to make the right choices and decisions. So self-awareness is your ability to be able to recognize your emotions and to know how they affect you. So it helps you to know your strengths and weaknesses, because this is the starting point. If you don't know the emotions that you are feeling, how can you even work on it? Now, the second part is self-management. Now, after you know these emotions, how are you able to use it? How are you able to manage it? So management builds on self-awareness, the ability to control yourself and to direct behavior positively. For example, even if you don't feel like doing something, maybe you are being frustrated, you know that this emotion is just an emotion of frustration, but I'm not going to allow it to overcome me. I'm going to persist in doing this thing. So when you recognize that emotion, you know that this emotion wants me to stop what I'm doing, but I am not going to give in into this emotion, and you continue. That is self-management. When you are angry and you are able to control that anger, and you don't do stupid things because of that anger, then that means that you are able to control that emotion. So that is self-management, and it is a very, very major key to success. In fact, you will see a lot of people who they are first-class students, they are so brilliant academically, but they fail here. Their self-management is zero. And these people cannot go far in life. They are the people that cannot work in a team. They are the people that people will not even want to work with. People will not even want to work with them. And no man is an island. We need one another. You can't do things alone. You need people around you. So self-management is very key. Now, after this, there is another aspect of emotional intelligence called social awareness. Social awareness is your ability to understand emotion in other people, to put yourself in their shoes. It is called empathy. It is equivalent of self-awareness, but now it is directed towards other people. So it's the ability to feel and understand people and understand their needs and concerns. So, for example, maybe you are a team leader now. If you don't understand the emotions in your staff, how will you be able to manage them? So, for example, maybe they are afraid. Maybe there's a project and you cannot even recognize fear in them. How will you be able to assuage that fear? Because as long as they are fearful, that project might not be accomplished well. So you need to be able to read other people. And you know that most of our communication is non-verbal, because a lot of times people will not tell you, oh, I'm afraid. People will not tell you that. So social awareness is the ability of you to be able to understand people's emotions, to be able to read people, to be able to read the nuances of people's behavior, so that you can be in tune with their emotions. And then when you are able to do this, the next one is social management. What are you able to do with this empathy? Are you able to develop and maintain good relationships? Do you use this awareness of emotion in other people to motivate them? And this would help you to be able to build good social skills and to leverage on this social awareness. You can influence people. You can influence people to a very, very large extent if you can key into people's emotions. If you can understand them, then it will be easy for you to motivate them. It will be easy for you to do what you want them to do. Now, what are the benefits of emotional intelligence? I have talked about this. Emotional intelligence would help you to deal with change better, because, change is a constant thing in life and we like routine. So when something changes in our environment, it can put us in a position of stress. But you will not allow that thing to overcome you. So when you're emotionally intelligent, you understand where that emotion is coming from. Oh, you know that, it's this change. And so you will do something about it. You will not allow it to take control of you. So you are able to deal with change better. Then you will be able to work as a member of a team better. It will help you to be a better leader anywhere, whether at home, whether at work, whether in the church, whether in the mosque, whether in the marketplace, anywhere. It will help you to be able to be a good leader. People would want to resonate with you. People would want to work with you because people would see that you understand them very well. And it will also help you to be able to resolve conflicts better. And it will help you in better relationships. So, for example, if you are in a toxic relationship, it might not even be a romantic relationship. If you are in a toxic relationship and your emotion is warning you, you know that each time you see this person does not make you happy. This person makes you feel negative emotion. Your emotion is warning you at that time. So if you are able to reason with that emotion, you know well that this relationship is not helping me, and you cut it off. If you have good emotional intelligence, that means you don't allow that passion to overcome your reason. So it's going to help you to build better relationships, not only romantically, but in all spheres of your life. Now, there's a downside to emotional intelligence. There are some people that have very high emotional intelligence. They know how to read people. They know how to work on people's emotions. These people, sometimes they can use it to their own advantage and to the other person's disadvantage. So you must be aware of this. These people can manipulate people because they know how to play with your emotions. They know how to get you. They know how to play into your emotions. So they know how to manipulate. So it's important that we know this. Now, how do you know these people? When you see people that are too sweet, that it is too good to be true, then you should watch it. It may mean that person is just playing on your emotions. That person has a very high level of emotional intelligence and knows how to get at you, how to play your emotions to his own advantage. So the next thing is, how do you know whether you are emotionally intelligent? Just ask yourself these questions. Do you know your strengths and your weaknesses? Do you know what upsets you? Do you know the things that make you happy? Do you know the things that make you angry? Do you know the things that you're afraid of? Those are the things that you need to know about yourself. Do you know the things that give you joy? Because if you don't know this, how will you be able to use your emotions very well? Now, do you embrace change? Are you afraid of change? Do you see change as something that is very uncomfortable? Are you easily offended? Are you curious about people? Are you a good judge of character? Are you always stressed out? These are the things that will help you to know that you are not managing your emotions well and your emotional intelligence is low. So, how can you improve your emotional intelligence? There are basic things that we need to know. You need to know that the center of your emotional intelligence is your brain, and it is a biological organ. So you need to take care of it. You cannot do anything outside your brain. Your emotions derive from your brain. So you have to take care of your brain. You eat well, sleep well. And then one thing also is that we must be emotionally honest. Society does not encourage emotional honesty. So you ask people, how are you? They say they are fine when they are not fine. So most of the time, we are not emotionally honest with ourselves and with other people. So you have to be emotionally honest. Then you have to build your mental muscle. It is not something that is automatic. You have to work at it. Remember, I said that rational, the higher rational part of your brain is not automatic. You have to develop it. You have to develop it, and it takes effort and consistency. It's like you are learning a new musical instrument. The more you practice, the better you get to. And it's like, somebody who is trying to build his muscles. The person will need to be going to the gym, and then in no time you see that the muscles is well toned and well developed. The same thing happens in your brain. So in a way, you have to develop your mental muscle. Now, you have to be mindful. Mindfulness is that you have to be in touch with what you are doing. So how do you increase your emotional intelligence? There are just 5 pillars now. Number 1, you practice self-awareness. You must know yourself. Don't be on autopilot. Autopilot is, a lot of us, we just function on an autopilot basis. We do things without even thinking about it, without being consciously aware of it. So you wake up every morning, before you know, you have taken your bath, you have brushed your teeth, you have eaten, you are driving to work, you are just doing it like you're a robot. You are not putting deep thoughts into things you are doing. You are not being mindful of that thing that you are doing. Because if you are not mindful of that thing you are doing, there's no way that you'll be able to understand your emotion and what triggered that emotion and what that emotion may likely make you do. So your practicing self-awareness is the what, why, when, and where. What am I doing? What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? When do I feel this? What brings it on? Where does it happen most of the time? Then the next thing is you should learn to manage your emotions. You should learn. You want to increase your emotional intelligence, you must learn it. There are ways that you can channel your. So when you are angry, there are things that you can do, to lessen your anger, to assuage that anger. You don't necessarily have to allow that anger to control you. You can do so many things to distract yourself. So people, when they are angry, maybe with somebody, they just walk away. It's a way of, reducing your anger and learning to manage your emotions. Some people, when they are angry, they will just turn the place upside down. So you must learn to manage your emotions, good and bad emotions. Even when you are happy, you must learn to manage it well, because sometimes when people are happy, they will just be doing what they are not supposed to do. They can go on a shopping spree. They can become an impulsive shopper at that that time. They allow that emotion of happiness to push them. So before they know, they have even spent the money that they don't have. So both positive and negative emotions, you need to be able to manage them well. It is not a negative emotion that you need to learn to manage. Then the third one is always apply reason to emotions. Always ask yourself. You have to make it a habit. It has to become a second skin. You have to make an autopilot out of this one. Make it a second skin. Always ask questions before acting, and start from the most mundane thing. Even if you want to buy a pen, as basic as a pen is, you ask yourself, why am I buying this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You always apply reason to your emotions. Don't allow emotion to push you. Then you must have the right values, because your values are connected with your emotions. Your values are the center of your emotional energy. So you must have the right values, because it is your values that will control you. If you have negative values, you are going to have negative emotions. Now, you must also learn to palpate other people's emotions. You must stop, listen, respect people, connect with them, be a good listener, be a good observer. Don't be impulsive. Allow people to talk. Allow people to express themselves. Don't think that, you know what they want to say. Be a very, very good observer. Don't rush into things. So you must learn how to palpate people's emotions. Like I said, most of our communication is non-verbal. A lot of times people will not be emotionally honest with you. So you must learn how to be mindful of people's emotions. You must learn how to read people. So this is the last slide. Improving emotional intelligence is not a microwave process. It takes time, effort, and consistency. It is very, very doable, because we are leveraging on the neuroplasticity of the brain. But remember, I said that after the age of 25,
Hello. Yeah, your audio is off, ma. Your audio is off. Your microphone is on here, but we can't hear your voice anymore. Oh, sorry about that. I think we lost this. I think then there's a network issue, so we'll just give a couple of minutes. I hope she comes back. So I hope you guys are enjoying the lecture, Emotional Intelligence. You need to take control of your emotions. You need to know how to, okay, she's back. You also need to know how to your mic is not on, ma. I think we're having network issues. So you need self-management, know how social awareness, empathy, awareness of other people's emotions, and you need to learn. Those are questions we're going to ask when she comes back. How to study the body language of other people. Okay, that will be all we can take on this program today. I think the network issues in Nigeria. So Dr. Yekami, I think she was having issues with the network. So anyways, we'll get the slide from her, and the slide will be on our Facebook page. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel. You can follow us. Oh wow, she can't. Okay, she's back now. So we'll just try to take a few more minutes. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome back, ma.
Don't know what happened though.
Yeah,
I'm using to know what happened.
Oh wow. I know it's the network. So we're just about to round to round. We have just a few minutes to go now. Can we make the slide available to the audience, to the viewers, on the page, on our page? Can we get a copy of the slides? Would that be possible?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So just a few questions, before we go. That I know you talked about like there are some people, you're talking about people when they are happy, they have an emotion that makes them go on a shopping spree, and at the end of the day they spend all that made them happy, without knowing why. We're just wasting it. But there are also some people too, when they are sad and when they are disappointed, that's when their appetite opens and they start eating. So so what advice do you have for such people?
Now you see, when you cannot manage your emotions and your emotions drive you into doing things that you know you're not supposed to doing, and you're not supposed to do, and you are doing it consistently. For example, when some people are depressed, they'll be eating. They are using that eating to self-medicate, because eating is pleasurable. So they'll be eating and even be adding weight, just to self-medicate. So when you feel that you're not managing your emotions well, it may be that you need help. So when you find yourself, or when you are too happy, or you are happy and you are doing things that you are not supposed to do, and you cannot control yourself, then you need professional help. So that one is beyond you. So you seek help when you cannot manage your emotions. Even if you have anger problem, some people, when they are annoyed, they can break anything. They can bring down anything. When you know that you have anger problems, you cannot manage it, then you need professional help.
So then, and how about how to? Yeah, I'm here. How to read other people? You talked about the social awareness. That's empathy, awareness of other people's emotion. So how do you do that? Because some people, they don't speak. Some people they say yes, and what they actually mean is no. So how they explain in couples, Yeah, they expect yes in women. Is there a difference between the emotions of a man and of a woman? Because today we are focusing on women today, yeah.
A lot of times, women, we are very, very emotional. And sometimes we say no when we actually mean yes. So you know that, this is what a woman has the propensity to do. So you must know that person. You cannot judge somebody based just on one event. So if somebody is saying no, but the facial appearance, the gesture is saying yes, you know that this no is not real. If somebody is saying no, but the body language is saying opposite, so because over 80% of communication is non-verbal. So you must develop that ability to read people, to decipher emotions in people. So it is something that you just have to learn. You must be able to recognize any type of emotions in somebody. Even if somebody is jealous, it shows in people's eyes. If a colleague is jealous of you, if you have developed that emotional intelligence and you can read emotions in people, you can see it. You can see, but some people will not even see it, and that colleague will be undermining that person's actions in his place of work or in our place of work. So it is a skill that must be developed. It is part of the skills that must be developed in that higher rational system. It doesn't come factory fitted. It doesn't come automatically. You must practice it. You must learn it. The same way that you learn musical instrument, the same way you have to learn how to read emotions and what to do with it.
Oh, beautiful. They talk about head over emotions. Sometimes, how should the women handle that? You know, sometimes they're in a relationship, abusive relationship. Sometimes it might not be physical abuse. It might be someone taking advantage of them, knowing their weaknesses. Like you said, that if you are emotionally intelligent, you can use it to your advantage or to your own advantage and the disadvantage of the person. So how can the women now take control of their emotions? What I know you talked about some steps, you know, but what should, if they want to seek help, what kind of help should they seek? Should they do it by reading books, or do they need to come to a psychiatrist? Like you said, not only people who are mad need psychiatrists, you know. So do they need to come to someone like you, you know, for help?
Now, you see, women must be intentional about yourself. You must be true to yourself. A lot of times we deceive ourselves, and a lot of times we bow to societal pressure. We allow society to push us into doing things that we ought not to do. So I give an example. For example, a woman is in an abusive relationship. She knows because, see, the survival part of your brain and your limbic system, your emotional system will warn you. There is no way. See, I have been doing this job for over 20 years, and I have come across a lot of women that are in bad marriages, and I usually ask them one question, that how was this man before you married him? And I usually get the same answer. The red flags were there, but they did not pay attention. They chose to ignore it. So when they are in bad relationships, they know, but they just choose to ignore it because the survival part of your brain would warn you. Now, it is when you are emotionally intelligent, you are not going to use that signal that your survival brain and your limbic brain is telling you that this thing is not right. This relationship is not good for you. So you don't allow passion to overcome your reasoning. So you allow reasoning to overcome passion at that time. So you listen to what your emotional and your survival brains are telling you. But a lot of times, women will not listen. So it's not as if they don't know. They do. They see it. Because, see, if you are in an abusive relationship and you see the person and you just feel fear, you feel afraid. And if you love somebody and the person loves you, each time you see the person, there should be no element of fear. But if you need to walk on eggshells around the person, you don't want the person to be annoyed, you walk gently, you don't know what to say, then you know that something is not right. Listen to that gut feeling. Listen. The problem is that women do not listen. That is the problem. The signal is always there. It is automatic. It has been pre-programmed. That survival part of your brain would warn you. But a lot of times, people will not pay attention. So you can read all the books in the world about emotional intelligence. If you are not ready to apply it, if you are not ready to do something about it, then you keep on reading books on emotional intelligence and it will not help you. So you must be ready to do something about it. It takes effort. You must be intentional about your emotions. You must be intentional about your reason. Ask questions. Why am I in this relationship? What is it going to be like in the next 5-10 years? Am I going to be happy with this person? Am I in this relationship just because I don't want people to be looking at me as a single person? And I usually tell people it's better to be single and happy than to be married and miserable. Well, you don't want to live your life like that. So you ask yourself, learn how to ask questions. And it is not even only a relationship. Even if you want to buy something, it might even be shoe, it might even be a car. Ask yourself, why am I buying this thing? Because, it might be that maybe a colleague at work just bought a new car and then you feel like you are envying that person, or you have this emotion of jealousy, and you now allow it to push you. So you ask, but when you ask your that question critically, because you see, the hallmark of psychological maturity is the ability to think in principles. So you ask yourself, am I buying this car? Am I buying it because I really need it? Am I buying it because my old car is bad? Am I buying it because I want to show off? So you are not going to allow that emotion of jealousy to override you. You are not going to allow that emotion of jealousy to lead you into unhealthy competition. So when you apply reason, you activate that part of your brain, then you are emotionally intelligent and you make sound decisions and choices.
Beautiful. But as humans, is there a balance? Sometimes you might where do we find the balance? Because if you become too critical, you might be missing out on something. So I think there should be intelligent and not over intelligent. What do you think about that? Because
yes,
like in the relationship now, no one is 100% perfect, Yeah, over emotional intelligence, you see some of the flaws, So if you act based on those everything you see, not taking it too far.
Balance is everything. Balance. Now, in relationships, again, let me use that example since you mentioned relationship. In relationships, I tell people, nobody is perfect. That relationship should be symbiotic. I should benefit. The other person should benefit. Relationship must not be one way. It must not be parasitic. Any relationship that is parasitic is not a good relationship. Leave that relationship. Even if that person is so caring, but you know that you are the one, the suffering, and there are other things that make you suffer, that relationship is parasitic. Leave it. The two sides must benefit. Now, I tell people that there is nobody that is perfect, but there are some imperfections that are non-negotiable. I give you an example. For example, you are dating somebody, and you see that this person likes women. You see that this person likes women. See, and you say, oh, okay, if we get married, the person would stay with me. He will stop womanizing. You are just deceiving yourself. If when you are in courtship, this person is still womanizing, still having side chicks, then you apply common sense. Don't allow that love to override you and say, oh, there's no perfect person, I will tolerate it. The imperfections of that, you ask yourself that question, can I tolerate them? There are some imperfections that you can tolerate. If somebody snores when he is sleeping, oh, you can tolerate that one now. If somebody is very, very frugal with his finances, oh, beautiful, you can tolerate that. But if somebody tells lies, or if somebody brings you down, they are not negotiable. Those are the things. So it's not as if you are too critical. You are applying wisdom. You are applying the rational part of your brain. So there are some things that you must tell yourself. These things, they are non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. So those things, please, it's not about, oh, you are being too critical. Oh, no. There's nothing. Yes. It is a balance. There are some things that you can compromise.
So sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, there are some things that are not negotiable. So those things, because nobody is perfect, but of this person. So, but there are some basic things that are non-negotiable. If a man abuses you, if a man brings you down, if a man is selfish, what are you doing with that man? Emotional intelligence will tell you to leave that man. That is, you are intelligent with your emotion. Don't allow that passion of love to override your reasoning. Those are some things that you have to old and you are not yet married. It's better to be single and happy. Who are you pleasing by marrying? Oh, because society will see that you are married, but you are unhappy. It doesn't make sense. So use that on common sense part of your brain.
Okay, so where do you draw the line between I call it emotion now and love? Some people are very emotional, and in a relationship they have very, very strong emotions, which sometimes is not actually. They're just fond of the person, but they think it's love. So where should that lie?
Now, when love makes you to do unreasonable things, then you know that one is not love. That one is probably infatuation. Then when love makes you are the receiving end, and that person does not even care about whatever you do, that one is not love. That person is just using you. So you are just infatuated with that person. The person does not love you. So you ask yourself questions. I said always ask questions. This thing I am doing, what am I getting from it? So once you see that you are doing stupid things, that is no longer love. That has turned to toxic love. It has turned to any love that will hurt you. Draw the line there. Any love that will hurt you, that will hurt your feelings, is not genuine love.
Oh, beautiful. So what is the what is the relationship between negative emotions and your health? How does it affect your health?
Okay, now when we have negative, negative emotions, they serve to warn us. Negative emotions include things like fear, anxiety, disgust, jealousy, envy, hatred. Those things, they tell us something. They are telling us. So, for example, now, if you are angry with something, you are angry about something, it may be like, okay, for example, maybe your boss at work is refusing to promote you. Now, of course, you are going to be annoyed with that boss. So that emotion will warn you of, I need to do something. So because you are angry, it will make you to go and meet the boss. Boss, what have I done now? Why are you blocking my chances? But if you don't feel that emotion of anger, you just sit there and you will not do anything. The same thing applies to fear. If you snake and you are not afraid, you don't have that emotion of fear, you will just sit there. You will not run away. You will not kill the snake. It will be meaningless to you, and the snake might bite you and you die. So negative emotions, they warn us. They are good, but it is when you do what you are not supposed to do with it, when you are not intelligent with that negative emotion, that will begin to hurt you. Now, negative emotions, they activate our survival brain. Now, for example, when you see a snake now, and that fearfulness is activated in you, that emotion of fear is going to invoke some chemical releases in your body that would energize you to fight that snake. So at that time, when you see a snake, you might want to kill the snake. You need more energy. Your eyes, your vision must be focused. At that time, you have tunnel vision. So you are only focusing on the snake, so that if the snake runs and hides in a corner, you will see it there. So at that time, you don't have time for any other thing. That is not the time to go to the toilet and wee or poo-poo. Or your digestive system will shut at that. So negative emotions, they prepare our body, to surmount that thing. Is triggering that negative emotion. Now, the danger is that when you allow negative emotions to linger in your body, for example, hatred. If you hate somebody, it's a negative emotion. Each time you see that person, that survival part of your brain is going to go into a drive and is going to secrete emotions. And that emotion they are meant for you to either fight that person or run away from that person, but you cannot do either. So the chemicals will remain in your system and they begin to wear and tear your system. The chemicals include things like adrenaline and cortisol. They are not good for us in the system when they linger on too much. So it is when people they are unable to manage negative emotions. When you have too much of negative emotion and you have prolonged stress reaction activation, then it becomes very, very unhealthy. So in a way, if you are bitter, if you're always bitter, you are hateful, you are jealous, you are envious, you are just killing yourself slowly, because you are just loading yourself with stress chemicals, and they will continue to damage your organs, even without you knowing it. So negative emotions, they are just there to help us on the short term. We shouldn't allow them to linger in our body or to make us to do stupid things.
So if somebody upsets you or you're upset with someone, and what's the best? Is it better to speak out, or sometimes, because sometimes when you speak out, it escalates the matter. So that's why some people don't just talk. They just, okay, I'll keep it, let it go. But it's still bottled in them and hurting them, what do they need to do? They need to speak to the person or speak to someone else, because sometimes, like you said, when you see the person, you know, you feel somehow, you feel hot, you feel, you know. So what do they need to do? Do they talk to the person or talk to someone else? Some people will go in front of the mirror and start talking, but sometimes that doesn't work. So what exactly do they need to do?
Now, there's no one size fits all. There's no one size fits all. It depends. You have to put everything in context. So it depends on the situation. For example, if your boss annoys you, your boss is your boss. There are some things that you cannot do. You cannot talk back at your boss. So when you are annoyed, the best thing is just to maybe just be gentle. Don't talk at that time, because you know that if you talk, you might say something that you're not supposed to talk. And then when your boss cools down, you go and meet him and talk to him. But there are some bosses that are not approachable. So since you know that your boss is not approachable, you will not go that route. So it depends on who you are dealing with. There are some people that, you know, when they are angry with you or they make you annoyed, yes, you can talk to them. But there are some people that if you talk, then you escalate the situation. There are some people that just leave that place. It is not worth it. So, for example, maybe your neighbor, you have a very, very annoying neighbor. Maybe your neighbor is always parking in the wrong spot, parking in your own spot. And each time you come back from work, you have to call him out to come and move his car. Is your neighbor. Don't allow him to get at you. Just accept that this is the way he is. That no, just zero your mind. So in that way, you devise ways of dealing with each situation. So it depends. That is where emotional intelligence comes in. So you have to be intelligent with that emotion at that time. So there's no one size fits all. There's no one size fits all. It is all contextual. You have to, it depends on the other things. That's
okay. So what about heartbreak? Some people, women, because we're focusing on women, and there's a breakup in the relationship. The man moves on, and sometimes you see, like I know I've seen somebody, you know, for almost 20 years. The man, he had even been married to about 2 other wives, you know, but the lady was still there. In short, I knew the person about 20 years after their divorce, and you could still see the person still very, very sad, very, very angry. You know, if you see the person, when I saw the picture of the person before the divorce and after the divorce, there was so much difference. So how should the women move on? What do they need to do, you know, to move on after a heartbreak or during a heartbreak? Not even during heartbreak. What do they need to do to move on?
One of the things that I did not mention is that you have to, you know, engender positive feelings in yourself. There are some things that you have to accept when they happen. There are some things that you cannot change. So apply that serenity prayer that God grant me the courage to change the things I cannot and accept the things that I cannot. To change the things that I can and accept the things that I cannot change. So in life, things will not always go our own way. See, you cannot change the other person, but you can change yourself. You can change the way you react to what people do to you. So there are some things that when they happen, you cannot reverse it. So you have to move on with your life. Don't get stuck. Things that you cannot change. So why are you just staying there? You are just shortchanging yourself. Now you said that you saw the picture of that person before and after. What stress does? Stress would even make you age. It can add up to even 17 years to your age. So maybe you are 40 and you'll be looking like a 57-year-old woman. So you have to move on. So now apply reason again to it. Yes, you are deeply hot. You are deeply, deeply hot. You are annoyed. But can you change it? Is there anything you can do? If the answer is no, then your uncommon sense, walk away. Go and move on with your life. You can't, this person has moved on. You too, move on. If you are finding it difficult to do it by yourself, then you need to see a therapist that will help you.
So are there any how do I put it, checkpoints women need to put, you know, to make sure they are not getting emotionally trapped?
Yeah. The thing is that when you are in any relationship, let your tentacles be on. Be a detective. You have to be a sleuth, a detective in your relationship. Don't let the other person know that you are watching everything. You must apply wisdom. It's like, if a detective is looking for evidence now, the detective will not go out and shout, "Oh, I'm looking for evidence that this person committed this crime." The person is going to do it with sense. So you have to be on the lookout. Don't just throw yourself inside that relationship. Apply your sense. Use your sense. Look at things. Read in between the lines. Read in between the lines. Watch the person's reaction. Watch how the person reacts to things. When things happen, watch how the person relates. I tell people that, see, you can know somebody's character. At least you can know it like 80% of what, if the person talks to you or you interact with that person for a very short time, even if the person is a very, very good pretender, if the person is an actor, you can read in between the person, you can read in between the lines. But a lot of ladies, they see it, but they ignore it. Because, see, your brain will never lie to you. Your survivor brain will never lie to you. It will warn you that there's something wrong, but they don't listen. So from day one, be a detective in your relationship.
Oh, beautiful. Engage in your survivor brain. So women, ladies, hope you can hear that. Survivor brain, it's very, very key. Those are the red flags. So as we round up, Ma, your final word for the people today.
Okay, so my final word will be that, yes, as human beings, we can improve ourselves. But a lot of us are mentally lazy. We don't want to apply effort. We want to do it the easy way. There's no shortcut. If you want to live a good life and you want to enjoy your life, then you must learn to do things that would enhance that life. You must know that your life is ruled by the quality of choices and decisions you make. And these things derive from the way you manage your emotions. So don't allow your emotions to overrule you. Don't allow passion to overtake you. Use your brain. God has given you that part of the brain. Use it. Your brain is your toolbox. Use it very well. It is like a farmer who has all the farming instruments and goes to the farm and starts using his hand to clear the ground. It doesn't make sense. So use the thing that God has given you. Use your brain. You have to apply effort and start with little things. Be mindful of everything that you do. Even if you want to buy a dress or a shoe, as a woman now, you want to buy anything, start from that. Ask questions. Learn to ask questions in everything, even in mundane things. Because if you don't learn how to ask questions in mundane things, then in your relationship, you will not even know what to look for. You will not be perspicacious. You will not be keen. So you must learn how to do these things, even from little things. Even when you want to eat, why am I eating this food? Why? Always ask why? And make sure that you get a rational answer before you go ahead in that thing. That is emotional intelligence.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aina. It was good to have you here today. And you promised we can get the slides so that we'll publish. And I know a lot of questions are going to come, after this, because on one of our platforms, again, it went off on one of the Facebook platforms, so I'll have to repost it there. So people who will watch the replay will have questions here. So when the questions come, I will forward them to you and appeal that you just help us attend to the questions. And we'll love to have you on the program in the near future, if you don't mind.
No problem.
Right.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah, thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nosa. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, man.
This is Nigeria, the real home of the black people. We are a great nation. Great nation. Great nation, Nigeria. Good people.